opening day 3 times. He is also a National Sprint Car Hall of Famer as well. So his legendary accomplishments will live on. You could see that the track is open for the 410 sprint cars to come out and get heat in the engines. It is a beautiful day here in Juniata County. Looking at long-term forecast, knock on wood, we're looking to be okay for the upcoming Tuscarora 50 as well.
Yeah, well, temperature has been great right now, 75 degrees here in Port Royal, Pennsylvania, and it's been just kind of that nice summer temperature, sunny and 75 the last couple of days, and it looks like we're going to have good weather throughout Fair Week. Whether you're coming here to enjoy the Juniata County Fair or you're here to see the Tuscarora 50 with Kubota High Limit Racing Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It's shaping up to be a good one this week.
We want to let you know what the car counts are for this afternoon. Right now, we have 27 Weckert Livestock 410 sprint cars signed in for competition to go with 35 four-cylinders. Now, we have adjusted the program from what you are used to in past events. Here is the adjustment. We are going to run the entire 410 program first. So they are going to come out, they are going to hot lap, qualify, heat race, B-main, feature. Then we will do the entire 4-cylinder program, and we're going to mix the Eastern Museum of Motor Racing vintage cars in throughout the afternoon as well. Brad, we were just in competition here this past Saturday, 2 days ago, to kick off the 171st Annual Juniata County Fair with the 22nd running of the Butch Renninger Memorial. My goodness, what an event we had. The Weckert Livestock 410 sprint cars were in competition. The Penske Racing Shock Super Late models and the Zimmerman Truck Repair Limited Late models were in attendance, and we absolutely saw 3 barn burners.
Yeah, I mean, starting off the top with the Weckert Livestock 410 sprint cars, Dylan Sisney, he has been behind the wheel of the Stuart Smith Racing 27S for just 2 shows, and in his second appearance, he was able to park it in victory lane as a part of the fair opener. But he had to battle off the likes of TJ Stutz, Blaine Heimbach, and Ryan Newton. Most fittingly, they were nearly 3 wide for the lead when a caution came out with about 7 laps to go. But that win did not come easy for Dylan Sisney, and he was able to do it using every lane of the Speedway, using the top side, using the bottom, and earned himself that victory, which marked his 10th in his career here at Speed Palace.
And let's talk about the Penske Racing Shock Super Late models. Greg Satterley really put it on when he got the win. He was able to get his 4th win of the 2025 season.
Yes, and it marked his 6th Butch Renninger Memorial title, so one for the other hand. He's got one for all 5 fingers now, one for the other hand to start for him. He's just been very dominant in that race. Had to earn it, had to come from about 8th starting spot in that feature event and had to run down Matt Cosner, but he did just that to get back into victory lane. Rick Eckert claimed another track title here as well, finishing on the podium of that event on Saturday night.
And then how about it? An invader, Tyler Bear, was able to steal the limited late model win away from Lane Snook.
Yeah, Lane Snook was leading for all of the 25-lap A-main event, but a caution on the white flag lap allowed Tyler Bear to sneak in. Solid move on the inside of turn number 1 to get by him and put the dirty air on the nose and run away with the $3,333 to win winner's check as a part of the limited late model Butch Renninger Memorial portion of the event. So it was 3 very exciting features to kick off the fair, and right back here now for Labor Day today.
Obviously, today is the Lynn Paxton Tribute Race. We do have the Paxton family here. They are located down in the infield. They are going to join the action, and then we are going to have them in Victory Lane, down in Kishbank Victory Lane during opening ceremonies coming up a little later on in the program. Let's look at the point standings for the Weckert Livestock 410 sprint cars coming into this afternoon's Labor Day Classic. Right now, Justin Whittle is the points leader with 5,160 points.
Yes, he's been on top here for the past handful of weeks. He leads over the 5-time track champion Logan Wagner by 150 points. Justin has talked about how important it is for him to clinch a track title here. He's been going hard for it. He's been very good here this season, but he's got to hold off a guy who's done it 5 times, and the only driver to do it 5 times in a row, that being Logan Wagner. Then you have Brock Zierfoss back by 370, Jeff Halligan back by 655 in 4th, and Mike Welder back by 665, rounding out the top 5.
Gerard McIntyre in 6th, Lance Deweese 7th, Austin Bishop 8th, Cody Lehman 9th, and Doug Hammaker rounds out the top 10s for the point standings for the Weichert's Livestock 410 Sprint Cars coming into the 74th Annual Foss Jewelers Incorporated Lewistown Labor Day Classic. Plenty of happenings going on behind us here as the Juniata County Fair is in full swing behind us. More events coming up trackside starting tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow night they have the rodeo going on here at the Port Royal Speedway. You can purchase tickets for that online at the Juniata County Fair website, juniatacountyfair.com. Also on the Port Royal Speedway website as well. Just look for Luck E Rodeo to attend that on Tuesday. And then on Thursday, of course, we got things going Thursday, Friday, and Saturday right here at the track with Kubota High Limit Racing and the Tuscarora 50. Thursday, paying $10,000 to win. We'll also have the Penns Valley Meat Market 305 sprint cars on hand. On Friday, $10,000 to win for the 410s yet again, with the Zimmerman Truck Repair Limited late models invited to take part of that event. It is their final points race. And then Saturday, $58,000 to win for the Weichert Livestock 410 sprint cars as we take on Kubota High Limit Racing.
And we kick off the Tuscarora 50 weekend on Wednesday out at the Lewistown Country Club as Bob Hilbert Sportswear presents the Bob Weichert Tuscarora 50 Golf Open. If you like to play in that tournament, you can check us out on social media, Port Royal Speedway, Trackside Media on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter at Port Royal Speedway. We do have a link posted to where you can sign up for the upcoming golf tournament that's going to take place at the Lewistown Country Club on Wednesday. Still time to purchase a Tuscarora 50 lap if you'd like to do so. You can come up to the press box when we're not actively racing. If we do have a break in the action, you can come up and purchase a lap. It's $25 a lap. You can also purchase a lap inside the Speedway office. You can pay with cash or card, but if you like to purchase a lap up here in the booth, it's cash only. Once again, $25 will get you a lap for the upcoming Tuscarora 50. Before you leave here tonight, don't forget to check out the Port Royal Speedway novelty stand. Kathy Kaufman can get you hooked up with your official Speed Palace merchandise. She has plenty of hats, T-shirts, sweatshirts, new victory flags, camping flags, koozies, you name it. Also, brand new, hot off the press Tuscarora 50 shirts that just went on sale this past Saturday. Kathy Kaufman can get you hooked up with that before you leave here this afternoon. If you're looking for the family section here in the main grandstands, we'll come on down here to Section C. We call that the Keith Kaufman family section. Absolutely no alcoholic beverages are permitted in that area. We also want to give you another friendly reminder that there is no smoking or vaping allowed here in the grandstands all the way from turn number 4 to turn number 1. If you're looking for the family section in the infield, the smaller portion that is gated off, that is the family section. That is where the kids can throw the football, kick around the soccer ball, and have a good time here this afternoon. We do have reserved seating in effect for this afternoon's Labor Day Classic. If you are new here to the Port Royal Speedway, well, we thank you so very much for coming out. But if you notice that you are sitting in a seat that has a red reserved sticker on the backside of that seat, and you do not own that seat for the 2025 racing season, we're going to ask you to please vacate that area and move into a seat that does not, I repeat, does not have a red reserve sticker on the backside of it. However, if you would like to chance it throughout the program, you're more than welcome to. But if someone comes in later this afternoon and says, hey, I own that seat for this year, we're still going to ask you to please vacate that area. And as you are making your way through the main gate, see if we can get track chaplain Doug Millot tuned in here. The Royal Speedway fan zone is located inside the commercial building. You could see sprint cars with the Eastern Museum of Motor Racing getting heat in the engines as well. Brad, with this event, the Labor Day Classic, having such a rich history, it just makes sense to invite the Eastern Museum of Motor Racing here to the Port Royal Speedway.
Yeah, I mean, 74 years we've been putting on the Labor Day Classic here at Port Royal Speedway. And you just think what a historic event it is, to put it on year after year, and the tradition that comes along with it that, just like I made mention with having the Lynn Paxton tribute race be a part of this, it just is very fitting to have the Eastern Museum of Motor Racing display and exhibition here and allowing them to turn laps and, just taking a look back into, the sport and the track's history just to touch on a day like today.
I'd like to welcome Tyler McKim back here to the Port Royal Speedway, just getting off the airplane yesterday. Lead producer for the Kubota High Limit Racing Series with FloRacing, just was out at the Skagit Speedway, and he's going to be in here for the rest of the week. So again, for this afternoon's program, here are the tentative order of events. We are going to come up with hot laps with the Weikert Livestock 410 sprint cars in just a few moments. And then we will have them come out for heat races after opening ceremony. We are going to have timed hot laps for the Weikert Livestock 410 sprint cars. The format for them is going to be a speed week format. So the fastest qualifier will start fourth in the 3 heat races. If that driver is able to win that heat race, they will eliminate a spot in the redraw that will be happening on later this afternoon. So again, we are going to have timed hot laps for the 410 sprints. Brad, I know you and I have been very, very busy up here, especially with the fair and the Butcher Renninger Memorial this past Saturday. But have you had a dinner yet behind us here at the church stand?
No, I haven't, not yet. I typically save my time for Friday, but I was talking to some of our track guys, and Brandon Sanders, if any of you know him, he's already got himself 2.
Of course.
He bought himself an extra, and he was hoping to get a 3rd. But those track guys deserve it. They've been working very hard.
Yeah.
We've been very busy, but between racing on Saturday, there was the concert here with Parmalee yesterday, and then to get everything ready to go for today, those guys work really hard to make sure the track is in good shape to run as many races as we do during Fair Week.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, race fans, may see Brad and I a lot and hear our voices, but truly, the team players that we got to tip the cap to are the track crew, because they're pretty much here from sun up to sundown. Yeah, obviously, after the concert, they were here until the sun up to try to prep this track for this afternoon's Labor Day Classic, but they are going to be here all week, and those are the true heroes for this week's programs.
Yeah, it's very labor-intensive work, consumes a lot of time. They do it for the love of the game. So if you know anybody that works on our track crew, if you see them out at any point during the fair, make sure to stop them and thank them, because they put on, the racing that you get to see wouldn't be possible without what they do.
This is going to be the first timed hot lap session of the afternoon. We're going to have 3 heat races. We will split each heat race into 2 groups for timed hot laps. And again, whoever is fastest overall in each group will start fourth in the heat races coming up a little bit later on. Cars have shoved off here on the main straightaway. First one to go underneath the flag stand from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, in the Concord American flagpole. High Performance Lubricants, Macri Concrete, Hefner Racing Enterprises. Car number 20, this is the Macho Man, Brady Bacon. Brady Bacon in the 20.
Trailing him out of Harrisonville, Pennsylvania, in the Sainer Brothers, Mac McGee Motorsports, John Ott Racing, Coleman Farms, 55. That's the pilot, Logan Wagner. Logan Wagner in the 55.
And from right here in Port Royal, in the DL George & Sons, Legenfelder Mechanical Contractors, West End Sunoco, Beavers Auto Body and Collision. Car number 27, as he just picked up the feature event a couple nights ago to kick off the fair. That is going to be Dylan Cisney. Dylan Cisney in the 27S.
Trailing him from Enola in the Bruner Service Center, Middleton's Roofing and Siding, Bruce's Speed Shop, RV four-wheel drive, Chet's Trunks, Eric's Tin Shop, 47K. It's Cody Lehman. Cody Lehman in the 47K.
And final car out there from Alan Wood in the White Bread Racing Enterprises, Houck Trucking, Bungo's Tire and Service, JJ Speed Shop, 12J. That's Derek Houck. Derek Houck in the 12J. As this is Group A for heat race number 1. We just wanted to give the drivers a lap to see what surface looks like. It looks like we are getting thumbs up, so we're going to give them a lap to run in the top of the speedway, and then we will officially cut them loose for this afternoon's timed hot laps. So we are going to wind them up and turn them loose. They will see the green flag. So Brady Bacon is going to be the first driver to see that green flag. Past winner here at the Port Royal Speedway with USAC. Going to be in here for the rest of the week. As Brady Bacon, he will set the pace at a 15.999, 15.999. Logan Wagner, third quick at a 16.562. Dylan Cisney, second quick at a 16.397. Cody Lehman, fourth quick, a 16.865. Derek Houck, third quick now at a 16.413. Bacon slower on his second lap, a 16.055. Logan Wagner, he'll go second quick right now at a 16.308. Dylan Cisney, third quick at 16.325. Cody Lehman approves on his second lap, still fifth quick at a 16.826. Derek Houck slower on his second lap at a 16.421. So right now, Brady Bacon is going to be the fastest car here for heat race number 1 at a 15.999, 15.999.
Logan Wagner second with a 16.308. Dylan Cisney third with a 16.325. Derek Houck fourth with a 16.413. Cody Lehman, your top 5, with a 16.826. So as we get cars rolled out here, just want to wish a happy 1-year wedding anniversary to Jordan and her husband, Trace. They are celebrating their first wedding anniversary. That is the daughter and son-in-law of the vice president of the Agricultural Society, Jan Coldren. So her daughter and her husband celebrating their first wedding anniversary. They got married last year on the first Saturday of the fair. So big fair lovers, the Coldren family and what they are, and wishing them a happy 1-year anniversary.
So these are going to be the cars to make up the rest of the lineup for heat race number 1. Again, Brady Bacon fastest overall, the only driver into the 15-second bracket. So cars shove off once again here on the main straightaway. From New Oxford in the Gibbsville Cheese, 87 Speed X1 race cars, K.R. Perry Trucking car number 2. That's Gerard McIntyre Jr. Gerard McIntyre Jr. in the deuce.
Just going by him there from Harrisonville, Pennsylvania, in the Mac McGee Motorsports, Sainer Brothers, John Ott Racing GMP Distributors, 55W. That's the legend of Mike Wagner. Mike Wagner in the 55W.
Also out there in this hot lap session from Mannheim in the Duncan Transport, Shear Welding, Smith Titanium, Johan Brick and Hard Escaping car number 29. That's going to be Brent Shear. Brent Shear in the 29.
And final car out there from Mifflintown in the Juniata Concrete, the Bargain Barn, Big Daddy's Grill and Chill Naturals by Val. Car number 10, it is Jake Waters. Jake Waters in the 10.
So again, we wanted to give these drivers a lap so they know what the track is going to do, and also try to smash down the cushion that is starting to develop in turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So Rob Kirk, chief starter here at the Port Royal Speedway, letting the drivers know to pick up the pace as they will see the green flag this time by Mike Wagner will be the first car to see the green. He's last year's track champion. Right now, Mike Wagner sits 14th in the point standings coming into this afternoon's event. He'll go second quick on his first lap. 16.160. Gerard McIntyre Jr. 6th quick now at a 16.555. 16.555. Brent Shearer 8th quick at a 17.260. Now Jake Waters goes 8th quick at a 17.157. Mike Wagner improves, still second quick at a 16.052. McIntyre Jr. better on his second lap, 6th quick at a 16.415. Shearer also improves on his second lap, 9th quick, a 17.149. Jake Waters, 8th quick as well, with the exact identical time as what Brent Shearer has at a 17.149 as well. So we will bring out the cars that are going to make up the first half of heat race number 2. Again, right now, Brady Bacon, the only driver into the 15-second bracket. As we mentioned earlier on, we are going to run the entire 410 program first, and then we will run the entire 4-cylinder program afterwards. We'll also sprinkle some vintage cars in there as well. So as the cars begin to roll here on the main straightaway from Stoneboro, the Bala Management, McMillan Special, Heckman Lawn Care, H&H Materials, car number 5, that's Jeremy Weaver. Jeremy Weaver in the 5.
Trailing him out of Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, in the Hollingwood Towing and Recovery D57 is Jeff Miller. Jeff Miller in the D57.
And from Sinking Springs in the Viper Risk Management, AutoFix LLC, Ely Fabrication, car number 22E, that's Nash Ely. Nash Ely in the 22E.
Coming out of turn number 4, the driver comes from Prairie City, Iowa, in the Trone Outdoor Vortex Wings, Smith Titanium Cali Race Fuels, car number 39, that is Linton Jeffrey. Linton Jeffrey in the 39.
And final car out there from Elverson in the Moose Meadows, Ames Construction, Studio 895, Tensor Aviation, car number 35, that's Austin Bishop. Austin Bishop in the 35. As the green flag is officially out. These are the cars that are going to make up the first half of heat race number 2 in timed hot laps for the Weger Livestock 410 Sprint Cars. Linton Jeffrey will set the pace with a 16.582, 16.582. Now Austin Bishop goes to the top of the board with a 16.483, 16.483. Weaver, third quick, is 17.294. Nash Ely, fourth quick, is 17.739. Jeff Miller, fifth quick, 20.632. Austin Bishop slower on his second lap at a 16.541. Linton Jeffrey also slower. Third quick, 16.604, his second lap. Jeremy Weaver now second quick at a 16.535, 16.535. Jeff Miller better on his second lap, still fifth quick at a 19.661. So right now, Austin Bishop will be fastest here in heat race number 2 at a 16.483. If you're into racing collectibles, normally that stand is set up directly below us here underneath the main grandstands, but with the fair going on, they have moved inside to the commercial building. So on a beautiful day like today, you can make your way inside that commercial building and check out all the vintage cars that are up for sale for all your racing collectible needs. As the second half of heat race number 2 pushes off.
On the front straightaway from Drums, PA, in the BCI, Harry's You Pull It Auto Parts, Tennescent Supply X1 race car 18J, you have JT Ferry. JT Ferry in the 18J.
Also here on the main straightaway from Kokomo, Indiana, in the Indy Race Parts, Charlie Garrett Race Engines, car number 71. That's the law firm Parker Price Miller. Parker Price Miller in the 71.
Just going by him there out of York, Pennsylvania, in the Traco Manufacturing, Mountain Ridge Metals, Glenville Station Pub and Grub, G&L Capital, Hohenschelt Welding, car number 23, that is Chase Dietz. Chase Dietz in the 23.
And making his way into turn number 2 from Kunkletown in the Lehigh Valley Industrial, Glenville Station Pub and Grub, Jetco, Downs Automotive, car number 69K, it's the Kunkletown kid of Ryan Smith. Ryan Smith in the 69K. So Nash Ely is going to stay out there. Unfortunately, he was not able to get a full lap at speed, so that's why he's going to stay out on the racetrack. As again, Austin Bishop setting the pace here for the cars that are going to make up heat race number 2. Good to have JT Ferry back here. We mentioned this on Saturday. About 2 months ago, he was involved in a very vicious crash in turns 1 and 2 to where he broke his hand. Obviously, that is a 6 to 8 week healing process, and we were lucky to have him right back here on Saturday, and good to have him back here this afternoon. So the white flag is out. First lap time for JT Ferry, fifth quick at 17.281. Chase Dietz, third quick at 16.571. Parker Price Miller to the top of the board with a 16.224. Ryan Smith, third quick at a 16.484. Nash Ely, fifth quick, a 16.721. JT very slower on his second lap at 17.135. Dietz now second quick at a 16.476. Parker Price Miller slower on his second lap at a 16.413. Ryan Smith also slower on his second lap at 16.608. So Parker Price Miller will be the fastest here in heat race number 2 for timed hot laps at a 16.224 at an average speed of 119.1 miles an hour. Not bad on a daylight surface.
Absolutely not. Reminder that the fastest in their heat races will start 4th in their heat race, and then they will go heads up the rest of the way. If Parker Price Miller would be able to come from that fourth-place starting spot to pick up his heat race win. He could knock a driver out of the regional, just like we see during Pennsylvania Speed Week.
So the cars making up the first half of the third and final heat race for the Weckert Livestock 410 Sprint Cars comes to life here on the main straightaway from Southampton, New Jersey, in the Kronenberger Fine Jewelry, Mid-Atlantic Transportation, Milky Way Restaurant, RBH Group. Car number 67, that's Justin Whittall. Justin Whittall in the 67.
Trailing him from Warrington, Pennsylvania, in the Karma Industrial Services, Bloss Plumbing, A.H. Cornell and Son 55M, that's Dominic Miller. Dominic Miller in the 55M.
And from Selinsgrove in the Rose Post Center Roofing and Contracting, Victory Auto, B&B Seal Coating, River Valley Builders, car number 77. It's the repo man of Mike Walter Jr. Michael Walter in the 77.
Trailing him from Street, Maryland, in the Harford County Transmissions and Automotive, Wertzer's Garage 6K, and that's Cole Knopp. Cole Knopp in the 6K.
And final car out there from Selinsgrove in the D.C. Smith Sales and Service, 87 Speed X1 Race Cars, car number 7. That is Chris Smith. Chris Smith in the family-owned 7. So drivers being told over the one-way receiver to get on the throttle. We are ready to go. Justin Whittall will be the first driver to see the green flag. Justin Whittall was able to park it in Kishbank Victory Lane here during the 2025 racing season, as Chris Smith facing the wrong direction just below the Bobby Rahal scoreboard at Lewistown on the back straightaway. The caution flag will wave. Dominic Miller out there in the 55M. His season best finish came here on August 16th. That was a 9th place. Also, Michael Walter. He won his very first career 410 sprint car win right here back on April 20th. Right now, Walter sits 5th in the point standings with 3 top 5s and 4 top 10s.
So they look to get Chris Smith pushed back around the correct direction there on the back straightaway. Just looking at the 67 and Justin Whittall, the points leader coming into this afternoon's race event. He's had a couple of good finishes and great runs here. You remember back to the Jim Klein Tribute race just a little over a month ago. He was leading in that one before a right rear tire exploded, ending his night, but then picked up a win the next week to Justin Whittall. So he's been very impressive here at Port Royal Speedway in 2025, and that's why he's sitting up top on top of the point standings.
So Chris Smith able to fire back off. We'll get the push truck into the infield, and we are going to wind them up and turn them loose one more time. If you remember, Brad, Chris Knopp, former 410 sprint car driver here in the Central PA area. That's his son, Cole, in the family-owned number 6. Exact paint scheme as what his father, Chris, ran back in the day. As drivers are going to see the white flag this time by. Justin Whitall will be the first driver to hit the line. He will set the pace at a 17.082, 17.082. Dominic Malaire, third quick at 17.138. Michael Walter, second quick at 17.098. Chris Smith, fourth quick at 18.036. Cole Knopp, first lap, fifth quick at 18.467. As Justin Whitall will improve to a 17.043. Dominic Malaire, second quick at a 16.967. And Michael Walter will go to the top of the board at a 16.829. Cole Knopp also improves on his second lap at a 18.082. So right now, Michael Walter in the 77 is going to be fastest here for the cars making up heat race number 3 with a 16.829 at an average speed of 114.8 miles an hour.
So final set of cars will roll out here, completing heat race number 3 as they make their way out onto the track now. And as they stage down there on the front stretch, he's out of Jonestown, Pennsylvania, in the low bar, Milton Hershey School. Heavy equipment loader, C&D rigging, car number 8. It is Brock Zierfoss. Brock Zierfoss in the 8.
And just to the inside of the Jonestown jet, returning to a 410 sprint car here this afternoon. He's from Penns Creek in the A1 Towing and Recovery, Selinsgrove Ford, Rich Trans. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Hurricane of Michael Walter. Michael Walter, the Hurricane, coming back here in 410 competition in the 33W.
Right alongside him there, the driver comes out of Grantville, Pennsylvania, in the J&S Classics. Click Lewis, Tab Works, Randy Shear Plumbing and Heating. Car number 22 is Doug Hammaker. Doug Hammaker in the 22.
And final car out there, past winner of the Labor Day Classic from Gettysburg in the White Coats Livestock RV four-wheel drive, York Excavating, Speedway, Subaru, and Volkswagen. Car number 48, it's Double D, Danny Dietrich. Danny Dietrich in the 48. So Mike Walter Jr. setting the pace in the 77 here. For the cars making up the lineup for heat race number 3 at a 16.829. That's a 16.829. So Danny Dietrich will see the white flag, his first lap, fourth quick, a 17.082, 17.082. First lap for Zierfoss to the top of the board with a 16.722, 16.722. Hammaker, sixth quick on his first lap at a 17.614, 17.614. Dietrich slower on his second lap at 17.488. He's still fifth quick. Mike Walter, ninth quick at a 19.736. Zierfoss slower on his second lap at 16.836. As Dietrich will be fifth quick right now. Walter also improves on his second lap, still ninth quick at a 19.061. So Dietrich will improve fifth quick. Nope, make that fourth quick right there at a 16.971, 16.971.
So Brock Zierfoss, fastest in that heat race with a 16.722. Mike Walter Jr. second with a 16.829. Dominic Malaire third with a 16.967. Justin Whitall fourth with a 17.043. Actually, Danny Dietrich would be up to fourth quick with his 16.971. So Dietrich's pace was impeded by a slower car, so he's going to be given one lap at speed to get an official time in. So 1 to go signal given to Danny Dietrich there that time by, so he kept his 17.082. And he'll see the checkered flag this time by. Currently sat fifth quick in this heat race. As he takes the checkered flag, his lap time will come in fourth quick, a 16.969. 16.969 puts Danny Dietrich fourth quick in heat race number 3. So Brock Zierfoss fastest in heat race number 3 with that 16.722. Then it's Mike Walter Jr. with a 16.829. Dominic Malaire third with a 16.967. Danny Dietrich fourth with a 16.969. And Justin Woodall fifth with a 17.043. So we'll get the 410 sprint cars back into the pit area as we will begin to roll out the Eastern Museum of Motor Racing for their first exhibition here of the program. We should see them one more time. The other split of cars here before the end of the afternoon, but the first set will roll out onto the track now. Always appreciate having the Eastern Museum of Motor Racing as a part of the program. They do a fantastic job. Their facility as well. Would highly encourage to go visit the Eastern Museum of Motor Racing. They've got a lot of great historical pieces. And it's totally free to get in as well. So appreciate all that they do. There in car number 34, you see Tim Bilger in the mid-1975 Tobias chassis 1936 Chevy out there heading through turns 1 and 2. Then in car number 89, that is Ted Flegel out of Perry County in the 67 Mustang, original Silver Spring hobby car. And then going to his outside in car number 10, that is Gene Wrightstone out of Enola, Pennsylvania, in the 1936 Chevy sedan, coming off of turn 2. Trailing him in the 7X, that's Bill Oakes from Tremont, Pennsylvania. That's a 1990 Tobias chassis in the middle of the backstretch. He'll be trailed by Mark Hahn in car number 14 from Middletown, PA. That's a 1999 TO chassis Falcon body. And there you have the Colt 45 by Dave Lear out of Pottsville, Pennsylvania. That's a 57 Chevrolet coming off of turn number 4. Making their way down the front straightaway now. In car number 100, that's Dave Ittner out of Hershey, Pennsylvania, the 1937 Chevy Modified. Then you got the 00 of Mark McClain out of Martinsburg, West Virginia. That's a 1991 Bullet chassis late model out there heading into the top side of turn number 1. Trailing him in car number 78, that's Daniel Ittner out of Hershey. That's a limited late model. He's piloting out there this evening. And then you got the 63 of George Dio. He's from York. That's a 1963 Ford Fairlane. Going underneath the Wise Market sign. I don't believe that on that number 4 I have listed on the roster that they brought in, but plenty of cool cars out here for the first exhibition for the Eastern Museum of Motor Racing. As we got car just stopping there at the top side of turn number 3 to bring out the caution lights. That's the double 0 of Mark McLean out there from Martinsburg, West Virginia. So we are clear to get back rolling here for the first exhibition. Green flag given out to these drivers this time. Following the Eastern Museum of Motor Racing exhibition, we'll move into this afternoon's opening ceremonies. And then out will come the Waker Livestock 410 Sprint Cars for their 3 heat races of the afternoon. Again, we are rolling right through the 410 Sprint Car program this afternoon. The only thing that will break up the program will be the exhibition for the Eastern Museum of Motor Racing. We have one more of those scheduled. And then we do have the front-wheel drive 4 cylinders on hand. Their program will be run immediately after the A main for the Waker Livestock 410 Sprint Cars. As you watch there, coming down the front straightaway, car number 78 of Daniel Ittner out of Hershey and his limited late model, just fishtailing out of turns 3 and 4 as these cars continue at speed. They're giving the 1-to-go signal this time by, so one more time around for the crew before we drop the checkered on them, and we'll get into this afternoon's opening ceremonies. So checkered flag is out for the first of 2 exhibitions for the Eastern Museum of Motor Racing cars. Their second one will take place later in the program, so we'll allow these cars to exit off of the Speedway. They will dip into the backstretch exit and then make their way up off of turn number 4 to head back to their trailers.
Test.
So as we get those cars off of turn number 4, back to their trailer, we'll get ready to turn our attention down to Kish Bank Victory Lane for today's opening ceremonies as a part of the Labor Day Classic presented by Foss Jewelers Incorporated of Lewistown, as well as today serving as the Lynn Paxton Tribute Race. So with that, we will look to send it down to Kish Bank Victory Lane here in just a moment with Earl Hoon Jr. with today's opening ceremonies.
Thank you, Brad Strasser. And again, race fans, on behalf of the Port Royal Speedway promotional team, the Juniata County Ag Society, and everyone else involved here at the Speed Palace, we thank you so much for coming out here for the annual running of the Foss Jewelers Incorporated Lewistown Labor Day Classic. At this time, we will go into this afternoon's opening ceremonies. But as we mentioned earlier on, back in April, we were supposed to have the Lynn Paxton Tribute Race. Unfortunately, Mother Nature had other plans. So we thought it was fitting to move the Lynn Paxton Tribute Race here today. Here's why. The National Sprint Car Hall of Famer sits 4th on the all-time win list here at the Speed Palace with 63 victories. Lynn was also able to win the track title twice in sprint car competition. Lynn is also a 3-time winner of the Tuscarora 50, won opening day here 3 times. And, by the way, he is the only driver in track history to date to win this very race, the Labor Day Classic, 5 times in a row, from 1976 to 1980. Ladies and gentlemen, before we go into this, I have the Paxton family here. Please give them a big round of applause. Up first, I will talk to Lynn's wife, Barb Paxton. Barb, on behalf of everyone here at the Port Royal Speedway, we welcome you back here to the Speed Palace.
We, as a family and friends of EMMR, thank you very much for having and doing this tribute to Lynn. He would very much appreciate it.
No doubt about it. He would be telling stories for hours here, probably for days, to be honest with you. And we also have a very special presentation that's going to take place right now.
Yes, we do. This is Dale Spade, and when Lynn won his Labor Day races, Dale was always in the winner's circle, and Lynn would always present his trophies to Dale. And Dale, as of today, is going to donate them back to the museum, which we were very appreciative of.
And Dale, let's come over to you, my friend, because Lynn was your favorite driver, right? And for him to invite you in Victory Lane to give you these trophies, that really has to mean everything to you.
It means a lot to me, and I'm glad to donate it back to the museum because that's what Lynn would want.
How about it, ladies and gentlemen? These awesome trophies are going to be donated back to the Eastern Museum of Motor Racing. Up next, we'll talk to Lynn's daughter, Brooke Paxton. Hey, we have the museum here, the vintage cars here. This is exactly what your dad would want.
Yes, he was all about preserving racing and what it was and what it is. And I just would like to thank everybody who donates their time at the Eastern Museum of Motor Racing. Everybody that comes out to the races, shows their classic cars. So if you ever get around the museum, please stop and visit. We're always looking for volunteers to help support preserving the legacy of racing.
No doubt about it, folks. Make sure if you have never been to the Eastern Museum of Motor Racing, you have to visit. You will spend all day in there and you still won't see everything. And it's free based off donation as well. So it's completely free. And they do a wonderful job down there, and they have also roundtable meetings, all kinds of things, activities happening down at the Lattimore Fairgrounds as well. So make sure you go check out the Eastern Museum of Motor Racing. So we'll bring the rest of the clan up here to get one big family photo here in Kishbank Victory Lane. So don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, to purchase a 50/50 ticket here this afternoon. The proceeds will go directly to the Eastern Museum of Motor Racing. So once again, purchase a 50/50 ticket here this afternoon. And that is indeed in honor of the legend, Mr. Lynn Paxton. So we will get the Paxton family in here, along with those beautiful trophies that Dale Spade Jr. had for all these years that Lynn gave to him when he won this very race. He's going to be donating them back to the museum. A lot of happy tears down here in Kishbank Victory Lane. And how about it, ladies and gentlemen, while they're all here, another round of applause for the Paxton family. Steve O'Neill, lead promoter here at the Port Royal Speedway, talking to the family, giving them some words of encouragement to get through this afternoon's program. We know Lynn is looking over us right now, probably telling some great stories up in heaven that he would always tell when you would go into the front doors of the Eastern Museum of Motor Racing. Okay. Oh, well, yes, let's tell that. So it's story time real quick. All right. So, yeah, pretend you're Lynn here, Bob. So what's this great story you have to share?
Well, the great story is I used to sit in the grandstand when Lynn was racing, and there was this little girl. She was about 11, 12 years old, sitting next to her friend, and her parents were next to her, and I was behind her. And, of course, they were rooting for Keith Kaufman. I mean, Keith Kaufman was their idol. And all of a sudden, Lynn Paxton passed him on the last lap, and she looked at her girlfriend and she said, "He stinks." And I looked at her, I leaned down and I said, "Honey, he doesn't. I sleep with him every night and he doesn't smell at all." So I just wanted to share that.
That's a fantastic story. And also, speaking of Kaufman, Kathy Kaufman is selling Lynn's book down here at the Port Royal Speedway novelty stand as well.
That is right. And there's not just stories of Lynn. He talks about all his racing friends also, which is why the book is so great. He wanted to do it his way, and he did it his way. He had that book written his way. And thank you all again for coming and helping with the tribute to Lynn.
It is a fantastic book, folks. Make sure you go visit the Port Royal Speedway novelty stand before you leave here this afternoon. It is a tremendous book. I do have a copy myself. So let's officially go back into this afternoon's opening ceremony. So if you can, please rise. Gentlemen, remove cover. As presenting this afternoon's invocation, here is track chaplain Doug Malott.
All right, welcome race fans. Thanks for coming out on this beautiful Labor Day for this exciting night of racing. Real quickly, I just want our fair queen, Emily, to be able to introduce this year's 2025 fair. I guess it's not a court, is it? It's a court, the fair court, before we go into the invocation.
So my name is Emily Kerstetter. I'm serving as the fair queen. First with me, I have my tiny miss.
I'm Layla.
And then I have my little miss.
Hi, I'm Lexi Bargo.
And my princess.
Hi, I'm Aria.
So let's give them a round of applause, folks. So as you know, at the Port Royal Speedway, we are much more, and we are appreciative of the fair and the fair board and all that they do. So let's bow our heads now for a moment of prayer, if you would. So gracious Heavenly Father, as you give us this day of rest, to be able to know that it is created as a holiday for those that labor, the blue-collar workers that are out each and every day, for us that labor and tasked to be able to keep this country great. We thank you for the men and women around this world as well that are doing just that, keeping us safe while we enjoy this night of racing, actually afternoon of racing here at Port Royal Speedway. We thank you for gracing us with your presence. We thank you for all that you do and continue to do as you prosper this fair, as you prosper this speedway, that we can bring excitement to these, your people. So we praise you and we thank you as you keep us all here safe this evening. We thank you for the labors of many that are here, and we thank you for all that they have done and continue to do to make this facility as great as it is. So with that, race fans, with God's protective hand upon each and every one of us, all of God's race fans said, amen.
Thank you, Doug. Please remain standing as singing the national anthem here this afternoon. Here is Miss Courtney Peterson. That is going to complete opening ceremonies here this afternoon. And with that, let's send it back up top to Brad Strasser.
Thank you, Earl. So with that, we will move into heat races to come for the Weikert Livestock 410 Sprint Cars. The first heat race is brought to you by Ickesburg Beverage, which is located in sunny Perry County. It's always sunny on race day at Port Royal Speedway, and Ickesburg Beverage loves race fans and thanks them for their business. Stop by Ickesburg Beverage on your next trip to the track. We're going to give the track crew some time to run in the racing surface a little bit more to help pack the top side of the racetrack. Before bringing out the Weikert Livestock 410 Sprint Cars for their first of 3 heat races to come. So thank all you fans for joining us here to be a part of the Labor Day Classic and Lynn Paxton Tribute Race. If you haven't already made plans to be here Thursday, Friday, and Saturday as a part of the Tuscarora 50 weekend, we have Kubota High Limit Racing in town on Thursday. $10,000 to win for the 410 Sprint Cars. We'll also have the top 24 in points for the Penns Valley Meat Market PA Sprint Series on hand to help support that show. Friday, September 5th, it is the night before the 50 with Kubota High Limit Racing. $10,000 more going to the winner of that one for the 410 Sprint Cars. We'll also have the Zimmerman Truck Repair Limited late models on hand, which will be their last points race of the season. That night is presented by HVAC Distributors Incorporated, with racing to get underway at 7 o'clock. And then Saturday, September 6th, it is the 58th annual Tuscarora 50 with Kubota High Limit Racing. $58,000 going to the winner of that one, presented by Packers Concessions and sponsored by Ramsey's Car Wash. If you want to secure a reserved seat, there are under 50 left. There are under 50 left. You can head over to PortRoyalSpeedway.com and grab yourself a reserved seat here in the main grandstands to lock that seat in for the Saturday night program of the Tuscarora 50. Of course, you can still get a general admission ticket. Just run the risk of there not being any available seats for you. Once those do sell out, you have to head into the infield, which is a great place to take in all the action here at Port Royal Speedway as well. But again, you can head to PortRoyalSpeedway.com, head to the schedule tab, and look for September 6th, the 58th annual Tuscarora 50, to buy your ticket for that today. And, of course, heat races today, they pay $630 to win as a part of the Lynn Paxton Tribute Race. So I want to give a special thanks to all of those who came on board to help support that. Hoseheads.com, Sandy Klein and Janice Classics, and Tyler K helping to come on to support the heat race sponsorship money. Again, hoseheads.com, Sandy Klein and Janice Classics, and Tyler K coming on to help make the heat races today. Pay $630 that go to the winner of their respective heat race this afternoon. So as we get ready for cars to stage here on the track, we can throw it down to track chaplain Doug Malott.
Hey, thanks, Brad. So just throwing it out there, thanks to the Wings of Kindness here in Juniata County, we had a Dirt Devil vacuum to be able to raffle here tonight. And Jen Crowl, I think that's C-R-O-W-L. Anyway, if you could come down to the fan zone inside the commercial building, you won that Dirt Devil, and as well, you won that Port Royal Speedway ministry hat. And fans, don't forget, support the ministry if you would. More free giveaways that we can give are all good. But we have T-shirts on sale inside the commercial building as well, and hats. Hey, Brad, one more thing here. I got some special guests down here, Hallie and her mom, Taylor. Now, this is the sister-in-law and niece of Chase Dietz. These two are two little girls, actually. I won't say that mom's not a little girl. But anyway, she's normally hanging around with two little girls. They don't get a chance very often to enter the junior fan. And I said, you know what, girls, let's get down here and have a little fun. We're going to have them out in the pace truck here today, waving the green flag. And that is Hallie and mom, Taylor.
All right, thank you, Doug, and thank you to the Wings of Kindness and everything they did for the junior fan this year, as well as the fan giveaways. They were a big supporter, as well as all of the businesses that came on board to help give away back to the fans. We gave away a number of large flat-screen TVs, I believe 40-inch Vizio smart TVs. We're giving away every month here in 2025. The junior fan were able to ride in the pace truck, wave a green flag for a heat race. They got a die-cast race hauler from the Port Royal Speedway novelty stand, thanks to Kathy Kaufman. Packers Concessions gave them a free hot dog and drink. Juniata MedTrans made sure they got $10 more to go to Packers Concessions. If the hot dog wasn't enough to do them, they'd get even more from Packers Concessions. So I want to thank all of them that came on to support all of that all season long. Of course, the Junior Fan of the Night program wrapping up here today, because there's plenty of things for us to get the fans excited about in and around the Juniata County Fair and all the logistics that go into these big events as a part of Fair Week.
As you can see, the cars are starting to roll trackside for this afternoon's first heat race for the Weckert Livestock 410 Sprint Cars. This is how they are going to line up. Starting on the pole from Harrisonville in the Mac McGee Motorsports, Santa Brothers, John Hott Racing, Gene Peters Distributors, car number 55W, it's Mike Wagner. Alongside him, how about this one, also from Harrisonville, in the Santa Brothers, Mac McGee Motorsports, John Hott Racing, Coleman Farms, car number 50.
The Juniata Concrete, the Bargain Barn, Big Daddy's Grill and Chill, Naturals by Val, car number 10, it's Jake Waters.
And final starter in this one from Mannheim, in the Duncan Transport, Shear Welding, Smith Titanium, Durhan Brick and Hardscaping, car number 29. It's Brent Shear. 8 laps will be the distance. Top 6 drivers will be transferred into this afternoon's Labor Day Classic. The heat race winner and the fastest qualifier, if he transfers, will make it into this afternoon's redraw. However, if the fastest qualifier, which would be Brady Bacon in this one, is able to win the heat race, he will eliminate a spot in that redraw. So drivers being told over the one-way radio systems to buzz the top of the speedway, as when we were conducting opening ceremonies down in Kishbank Victory Lane, the water truck made an appearance out and put a little water down at both ends of the speedway. As that would be Jake Waters facing the wrong direction there in turns 3 and 4. We talked about the front row, this one being a family affair between father and son, Mike and Logan Wagner. But how about it this past Saturday's feature winner, Dylan Cisney, rolling off in the inside of row number 2.
Yeah, it didn't take him long to get off to a hot start in that 27S. Just his second time behind the wheel of that machine, and was able to get into victory lane on Saturday night. And it was an emotional win for him. He got out of the car, and he talked about how hard it was to be watching the races from the couch this year, just down the road, knowing that he could be competing, and he showed just that on Saturday night, that he can still compete with the best of them.
Also, let's talk about the driver rolling off 6th, the 2 of Gerard McIntyre Jr. McIntyre sits 6th in the point standings with 7 top 10. He does have 1 career victory here at the Speed Palace. Right now, his season best finish was 6th, which came here on June the 7th.
So they'll look to get the field lined up into their correct running order. If it's your first time watching an event at Port Royal Speedway, you want to know the difference between the Wagner team cars. Mike Wagner, the legend, he's in that black-winged 55W, and Logan Wagner in the white-winged 55 to the outside.
So the lineup is good. The John Schaefer Dodge Pace truck will duck into the infield. Race fans, are you ready? First heat race of the afternoon will go green at the Packers concession chalk line in turn number 4. Again, 8 laps will be the distance. Top 6 finishers moves directly into the feature event. Mike Wagner, Logan Wagner brings the field down. Here we go, we're underway.
Good start for Mike Wagner as he'll lead us down into turn number 1. Logan down to the middle side of the speedway, but it's the legend who will lead him off at turn number 2.
Brady Bacon sits in 4th, has Dylan Cisney directly in front of him as they make their way into turns number 3 and 4. Will come down to complete lap number 1. Right now, it's going to be Mike Wagner setting the early pace.
Brady Bacon, he is the fastest qualifier in this heat race. He would have the opportunity to eliminate a driver from the redraw. Currently sat in 4th. He's following Dylan Cisney right now around the racetrack. As behind him, we've got a battle for 5th.
Yeah, Derek Halk Jr. in the 12J sits on the hot seat in that 6th and final transfer spot. Pulled to the inside momentarily last time by of Gerard McIntyre Jr. Got a little sideways right through the slick, and McIntyre was able to pull away from Derek Halk. His lap starting to tick away. It's still all Mike Wagner out front with a 1.4 second lead.
Yeah, nearly a half second faster than that of Logan Wagner in that second spot. His advantage 1.4 seconds that last time by the line. We'll see the halfway sign this time, 4 down and 4 to go.
Jake Waters off the pace here on the front straightaway. We will stay green right now as cars power to the outside of him. No change of position inside the top 6. At Cody Lehman in the 47K still running in the 7th position, and Brett Shearer running 8th.
Mike Wagner continues to lead. Logan Wagner has started to trim into that advantage, now down to 1.1 seconds. So cut 3/10 off of Mike Wagner's lead, but we'll come to the 2 to go signal this time by.
2 more times around for the legend. Can Logan Wagner, however, close in on his father, Mike, and steal the heat race win?
Mike Wagner has a win to his name here in 2025 earlier this season. Logan as well. Logan currently positioned second in the point standings with just, including this one, 3 points races remaining on the season, trying to close the gap on the 67 to Justin Little.
And he will do that. Logan Wagner has it down to 10 car lengths, but meanwhile, Mike Wagner off of 4 sees the checker flag, and he will win the first heat race of the afternoon. Second will be Logan Wagner, and third is going to be the 27S of Dylan Cisney.
So that puts heat race number 1 in the books for the 410 sprint cars. Mike Wagner in the 55W is your heat race winner. Finishing second, the 55 of Logan Wagner. In third, the 27S of Dylan Cisney. Fourth, the 20 of Brady Bacon. Fifth, the 2 of Gerard McIntyre Jr. And in the sixth and final transfer spot, the 12J of Derek Hauk. Heading to the B main, the 47K of Cody Lehman. The 29 of Brent Sheeran, credited with ninth. The 10 of Jake Waters.
So Mike Wagner and Brady Bacon will go to this afternoon's redraw. Second heat race is brought to you by Harshberger Sub and Malt, serving you at 2 locations, one in McVeigh and the other in Mifflintown. They serve great food in a 50s mood. They offer 24 flavors of homemade ice cream and great daily specials, including 50s Night Wednesdays. You can like them on Facebook.
Heat race number 2 is heading to the post. Starting inside of row number 1, the driver comes out of York, Pennsylvania. In the Tradeco Manufacturing, Mountain Ridge Metals, Glenville Station Pub and Grub, G&L Capital, Hohenschelt Welding, car number 23, it is Chase Dietz. And to his outside from Elverson, Pennsylvania, in the Moose Meadows, Ames Construction, Studio 895, Tensor Aviation, car number 35, it is Austin Bishop.
Starting in the third position, the driver is from Kunkletown in the Lehigh Valley Industrial, Glenville Station Pub and Grub, Jetco, Downs Automotive, 69K, it's Ryan Smith, and alongside him from Kokomo, Indiana, in the Indy Race Parts, Charlie Garrett Race Engine, 71 of Parker Price Miller.
Rolling off inside of row number 3 from Stoneboro, Pennsylvania, in the Bala Management, McMillan Special, Heckman Lawn Care, H&H Materials, number 5 is Jeremy Weaver, and 6th starter comes from Prairie City, Iowa. In the Trone Outdoor, Vortex Wing, Smith Titanium, Kelly Race Fuels, 39 is Linton Jeffrey.
Rolling off 7th from Sinking Springs in the Viper Risk Management, Autofix LLC, Ely Fabrication, 22E, it's Nash Ely. And starting in the 8th spot, the driver is from Drums in the BCI, Harry's U Pool at Auto Parts, Tennyson Supply, X1 Race Cars, 18J of JT Ferry. 9th and final starter comes out of Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. He's in the Hollywood Towing and Recovery D57, and that'll be Jeff Miller. Again, we want to remind you that if Parker Price Miller is able to win this heat race, he will eliminate a spot in that redraw. Parker was able to get a victory with the All-Star Circuit of Champions a couple weeks ago. We mentioned that he will be in Port Royal Speedway for the rest of the week for the upcoming Tuscarora 50. Let's look at the pole sitter here, Brad. He was able to pick up a feature win last night down at the Lincoln Speedway.
Yeah, it was Chase Dietz who was able to pick up $10,000. He's been able to pick up a handful of wins here in Central Pennsylvania in 2025, including 2 here at Port Royal Speedway.
Now, how about the driver starting outside row number 3, Linton Jeffrey? He has a feature win on a daylight surface, as he was able to do that on opening day a few years back.
He'll roll off in 6th. As you got the 69K of Ryan Smith in front of him as well. He's been able to pick up wins in that 69K, as well as the BJD Motorsports number 6 as well. So a heavy loaded heat race number 2 coming up.
Ryan Smith has 2 victories right here at the Port Royal Speedway. And we all know what that 69K can do when these tracks start to slick off. So here we go. Caution lights are out. Once again, we go green at the Packers concession, chalk line in turn number 4.
So we go green there in turn number 2. Chase Dietz will lead him down the front straightaway as we're nearly 3 wide for position behind him.
Ryan Smith, he will power himself right into the runner-up spot, looking Linton Jeffrey down low, but the caution flag is out. What do you got over there? So false start call over the radio. Drivers are being told that they have to be side by side, wing to wing when they come to the chalk line.
Again, $630 going to the heat race winners here this afternoon. Hoseheads.com was the sponsor of heat race number 1. Janus Classics and Sandy Klein putting up the heat race money here for heat race number 2.
Not a bad payday. $630 just to win a heat race, or $630 to win a heat race. He's going to take that money home here as 3 wide off the start. Look at the 71 of Parker Price Miller. He will take the lead going into turns 1 and 2, but officials not happy with that start as the caution lights come back on. So quick yellow coming back to green. See what kind of start we see here. As Chase Dietz gets back on the hammer, will lead the Thundering Herd in the turns number 1 and 2. Ryan Smith down low. There goes Austin Bishop. He will make his way up in the 3rd.
Battle for that second spot right now with Ryan Smith there. Austin Bishop was running the top side. Bottom now open for Parker Price Miller, who looks to pull alongside the Moose Meadows 35 for 3rd.
3-car battle for the runner-up spot. Austin Bishop working down low, but Ryan Smith has the momentum. Now, where does Parker Price Miller go? He'll go to the inside of Bishop, and he'll move up into P3.
Will he slide up the racetrack? Yes, he does, just a touch, and he'll make a little bit of contact with the 35 of Austin Bishop. Both cars able to keep it straight as we head into turn 1. The battle continues with Bishop to the inside, but it's Parker Price Miller off of 2.
We got the 22 EM Nash Ely running in that 5th spot, and Jeremy Weaver in car number 5 in that 6th and final transfer spot. Chase Dietz has a straightaway lead over the field as this time by he has a 3.3 second lead in the 23.
Remember, top 6 move on. Jeremy Weaver, he's in that 6th and final transfer spot as Nash Ely peaked at the 35 of Austin Bishop momentarily. Now Weaver will look to the inside of the 22E of Nash Ely for that 5th spot.
Jeremy Weaver making that bottom side work as he will drive by Nash Ely and move up into that 5th position. Starting to close in on the 35 of Austin Bishop, but meanwhile, this time by, we're going to have 3 laps to go in the second heat race of the afternoon.
We're going to have a battle for that final transfer spot as Linton Jeffrey got a good charge off of turn number 3 on the bottom side to go around Nash Ely. Ely battles right back with them as they make contact on the front straightaway. Battle continues close into 1. Give the spot to Linton Jeffrey.
Jeffrey thread the needle there with the jersey barrier and Nash Ely to take that 6th and final transfer. Can he hang on to it? Here comes another run by Nash Ely off of turn number 4. Car does not stick, however, but he'll stick with the Trone Outdoor 39 of Linton Jeffrey as laps starting to tick away. They're going to see the white flag this time by.
Yeah, it's all Chase Dietz right now in this heat race. His advantage well over a straightaway right now between him and the 69K, 4.5 seconds.
Commanding lead for Chase Dietz as he will bring the Stamen own 23 off of 4, and he will win heat race number 2. Second will go to Ryan Smith and Parker Price Miller in 3rd.
So all cars now across there in heat race number 2. Picking up the heat race win, and $630 is the 23 of Chase Dietz. Finishing in second, the 69K of Ryan Smith. Third, the 71 of Parker Price Miller. Fourth, the 35 of Austin Bishop. Fifth, the 5 of Jeremy Weaver. And then the sixth and final transfer spot, it's the 39 of Linton Jeffrey. Heading to the B main is the 22 Ian Nash Ely, the 18J of JT Ferry, and the D57 of Jeff Miller.
So Chase Dietz and Parker Price Miller will head into this afternoon's redraw. Third and final heat race for the Weckers Livestock 410 Sprint Cars is brought to you by Buttonwood Campground, located just 2 miles from the Speedway along the Juniata River on East River Road. With over 270 tent and RV campsites, Buttonwood Campground has an atmosphere of mountains, rolling farmlands, and fresh country air to complete your camping experience. Make sure you plan your next trip to the races and a camping experience around Buttonwood Campground at www.buttonwoodcamp.com.
Inside of row number 1 for heat race number 3, the driver comes from Sealands Grove, Pennsylvania. In the roast post, Center Roofing and Contracting, Victory Auto, B&B Seal Coating, River Valley Builders 77. It's Mike Walter Jr. And to his outside from Warrington, Pennsylvania. In the Karma Industrial Services, Bloss Plumbing, A.H. Cornell and Son 55M, it's Dominic Malaire.
Starting third from Gettysburg in the Weckers Livestock RV 4-wheel drive, York Excavating, Speedway, Subaru, and Volkswagen. Car number 48, it's Danny Dietrich. And starting fourth from Jonestown in the low bar, Milton Hershey School, heavy equipment loader, C&D rigging, car number 8 of Brock Zierfoss.
This starter, he comes from Southampton, New Jersey. In the Cronenberger Fine Jewelry, Mid-Atlantic Transportation, Milky Way Restaurant, RBH Group 67 will be Justin Whittle. And to his outside from Grantville, PA. In the J&S Classics, Click Lewis, Tabworks, Randy Shear Plumbing and Heating 22, it's Doug Hammaker.
Starting in the 7th position from Sealands Grove in the DC Smith Sales and Service, 87 speed X1 race cars, car number 7, it's Chris Smith. And alongside him outside row number 4 from Street, Maryland, in the Harford County Transmission and Automotive, Wirtsch's Garage, car number 6K of Cole Knopp.
Ninth and final starter, the driver comes from Penns Creek, Pennsylvania. In the A1 Towing and Recovery, Sealands Grove Ford, the Ritz Trans 33W, it is Mike Walter Sr.
So Mike Wagner, Chase Dietz starting their afternoon off strong with $630. Remember, that's what it is to win the heat races here. Hoseheads.com, Sandy Klein from J&S Classics, and Tyler Kay putting up the money to win the heat races here this afternoon. So lineup is good. Another fantastic starting lineup we have in this one. Michael Walter, Dominic Malaire will bring the field down to green at the Packers concession chalk line, and here we go.
Good side-by-side start, as it looks like Dominic Malaire will have the advantage into turn 1. Look at the Weikert's Livestock 48 of Danny Dietrich up there in the mix. He's up into second.
Brock Zierfoss looking down low, trying to get underneath Walter for that third spot. Will come around to complete lap number 1. Look at the J&S Classics 22 of Doug Hammaker making some noise. Try to get by Brock Zierfoss on the opening lap 4-4. Side by side, once again in front of them. There goes Michael Walter, and he will make the pass underneath Danny Dietrich. Can he hold it?
Dietrich back to his inside after Walter went as low as you could go in turns 1 and 2. He'll go back there in 3 and 4 to take that runner-up spot away. Dietrich trying to run it back down underneath the 77. He does. He'll have the second spot at the line as they continue to battle through the corners.
What a great battle for the runner-up spot between Dietrich and Walter, side by side in the turns number 3 and 4. Now give that second position back to Danny Dietrich. Oh, by the way, keep your eye on Brock Zierfoss. Zierfoss starting to throw his hat in the fire as well.
Brock Zierfoss says, hey, let's make it a party as he looks to get in the mix as Walter can't make the pass down low. Zierfoss with a good charge off, 2. He'll duck underneath him as they go into 3.
Brock will take that third spot away from Walter. Gets a little sideways contact there off of turn number 4. They'll straighten it back out. Zierfoss now and the Rich Eichelberger owned number 8, but we got a car upside down at turn number 4. The red flag is out. Chris Smith into 7 getting upside down and landing back on all 4s. And getting word over the Port Royal radio system that Chris Smith is okay. Brad, what a great 3-car duel we have here for the runner-up spot between Danny Dietrich, Brock Zierfoss, and Michael Walter.
Yeah, everybody giving Michael Walter in the 77 what he's worth so far in this heat race. He had a good battle with Danny Dietrich going. They were exchanging slides for position. And then after that battle finished and Dietrich got into the second spot, in comes Brock Zierfoss, who puts a slider on the 77 of his own there in turns 3 and 4, parked it right in front of him to take that third spot away.
So you can see Chris Smith going to take that long walk back to the pit area. So now we have some drama developing in turn 3. That underneath this red flag, Danny Dietrich quickly getting out of the Weichert Livestock 48 as he had a flash fire inside the cockpit. He is okay.
Who had the fire? Whittle?
So it could have been also some raw fuel that was sitting in the header with the flame getting rather large and coming into the cockpit as well. So Dietrich possibly out to put what would be his hand over the header, over the exhaust, right? And so to extinguish that flame. But you can see strapped back in. Accident scene cleaned up in turn 4. Caution lights will come back on. So push trucks will shove the cars off as we will have the restart coming with 4 laps to go. So with Dietrich hopping out of that car, that is a safety issue. So obviously he will get his spot back here on this restart, which will be the runner-up spot. So Dominic Miller will bring the field back to green, restarting second, Danny Dietrich, due to a safety issue. Restarting third, the 8 of Brock Zierfoss. Restarting fourth, the 77 of Michael Walter. Restarting fifth will be the 22 of Doug Hammaker. Behind him, you have the 67 of Justin Whittall, then Cole Knopp in car number 6, and then Mike Walter rounding out the field when they come back to life here on the front stretch. Drivers cannot pass before the cone, drive below the cone, and most certainly hit the cone, or they will be penalized at the next flag that comes out, regardless if it's a yellow flag or the checkered flag.
So the John H. Schaefer Dodge Pace Truck off the back straightaway. Dominic Miller will lead us back to green. He's led laps here at Port Royal Speedway in 410 competition. Has not picked up a win just yet. And he's got some heavy hitters right behind him as we look to come back to life off of turn number 4.
See what happens here in the turns number 1 and 2. Dominic Miller rolls high. Here comes Danny Dietrich down low, pulls alongside. Miller leaves the line open. Miller powers back by. Here comes Brock Zierfoss with a run on Danny Dietrich. Dietrich shuts the door there in turns number 3 and 4. Slides high. Another run by the Jonestown Jet down low.
Danny Dietrich hanging right with Miller for the top spot as well, as we've got 3 to go. Miller up top. Dietrich just a mini slide there from middle to top to hang in that second spot as Doug Hammaker momentarily looked underneath Michael Walter for 4th.
Danny Dietrich rolling bottom side in turns number 3 and 4. Dominic Miller, you have company. Side by side at the line for the lead. Dietrich, he'll roll up high now. Miller looks to take that bottom spot away, slides up in front of Dietrich. Dietrich with the momentum. Side by side, down the back straightaway go. Danny Dietrich will take the lead. Look at Brock Zierfoss, however, right up high off of 4.
3-car battle for the lead for the third heat race here at the white flag. Danny Dietrich, your leader. Brock Zierfoss, he'll get by Miller for the runner-up spot.
Final time down the back straightaway. Dietrich really starting to expand his lead as he makes his way into turns number 3 and 4 for the final time. He will win the final heat race of the afternoon. Second will go to Brock Zierfoss, and third will go to Dominic Miller.
So that is the third and final heat race for the 410 sprint cars, with Danny Dietrich picking up the heat race win worth $630. Second was the 8 of Brock Zierfoss. Third, the 55M of Dominic Miller. Fourth, the 77 of Michael Walter Jr. Fifth, the 22 of Doug Hammaker. And in that sixth and final transfer spot, the 67 of Justin Whittall.
So Danny Dietrich and Brock Zierfoss will go into this afternoon's redraw.
Heading to the B-Main, the 33W of Mike Walter Sr., 8th, the 6 of Cole Knopp, and credited with 9th, the 7 of Chris Smith. So with that, out will come the Eastern Museum of Motor Racing for their second and final exhibition of the afternoon.